Christmas!
Hey guys, I'm not dead. I stayed off the amino, so I got this about 11 days after it was leaked. Do I care? Not really. Have I scripted? Bold? Do you two assume I still think that's important? Alright, let's get into the video. Ooh, look at what we got in the mail. So I'm gonna be straight honest. I really wanted these to be fake. Like, I didn't look at them for that long, honestly, but I think it started out, with the Twitter sketch with the official Precure manga artist Futago Kamikita, and I didn't really think much of it, and then like it turned out to be real, and I would really like to call this fake, but you know, we have too much going on, especially with this. So it made me really sad because the designs don't feel that special to me, and I know some people are going to argue, but I'll explain why later in the video. But I just want to get to the point. So I don't want to start off with plot predictions just yet. I actually want to review the characters once again. So we'll start off with the first or main cure of the series, the paint cure. The protagonist of this series is Nodoka Hanadera, and her cure name is Cure Grace. The girls will also be receiving individual mascots for this series, and Nodoka's is a rabbit. The girls are going to have uniform-like designs this season, all wearing similar vest jackets while retaining to their own theme. Nodoka is going to have a flower-like theme, as you can see, with a rose sitting on her shirt. There are multiple references to flowers on Nodoka's uniform, as her color scheme consists of many yellows, greens, and pinks. Her hair is reflecting off flowers when light shines on it, and sitting on her hair is a yellow flower with green leaves. Her earrings are green leaves as well. Her skirt represents that of a flower, and sitting on the hand of her glove is hearts, signifying that she will also be representing the power of love. Now, Nodoka has a surprising name considering that she is a pink cure. Nodoka's name is written in hiragana, so its meaning could mean multiple things, but it generally summarizes into peaceful. Now, Hanadera, this one was harder to translate, but Hana means flowers, and Dara means here. It could also just be an added on adjective, but basically her name either means peaceful flowers or the peaceful flowers are here. Now, Grace is the second most surprising thing about her name, but it actually has two meanings. So the one we're probably all thinking is elegance, but the second meaning, which makes a little bit more sense, is refined goodwill. Now, I'll go a little bit deeper into why I think this name was chosen to her later in the video, but I think the main reason why this name was chosen is that she wants to be a charity worker, or she's doing a charity case. And I feel like that's also going to be the overall plot of the entire show. But we'll get into that in a second. Now we are going to move on to who I'm going to assume is going to be the second girl, because she's normally the second girl, the Blue Cure. Our blue girl is named Chiyu Sawaizumi, and her cure name is Cure Fontaine. English isn't good enough for you, is it now, Toei? Her fairy is a penguin, and this may or may not be the first penguin mascot we got in Precure. If it is the second, it would be second to Syrup from Yes 5. Chiyu seems to be bringing the Blue Cures back after 3 years to the water theme, as her crown and her hair seem to resemble that of the Pisces, the fish zodiac sign, and she has a water brooch on her shirt. If you fail to see what I mean about the Pisces comment, her hair notably splits off into two pieces and her crown shows horns. And this would be strange to have horns on a water-themed character. I compared this to the Pisces because the Pisces is a water zodiac sign and it is symbolized by two fishes. The constellation appears to have them sharing a tail while swimming away from each other, and their symbol appears to have them facing away from each other as well, which is the comparison I made with her hair and her crown. This is very vague, and I cannot say for sure if this was the intention, but this is just a comparison I would like to make in order to explain her design. Anyway, her hair reflects off circles when light shines on it. Her gloves also contain hearts, which is making me think that they're all going to represent the power of love. Her skirt represents that of a fish tail, and her boots also contain water droplets. Her earrings are also water droplets, and her color scheme consists of a lot of blues, aqua greens, and white. Now, Chiyu has a lot of name meanings, considering that her name is written in hiragana. But the best way I can summarize this is skillful assistant or knowledgeable assistant. And Saiwazumi means either swamp corner or pure swamp. So her name would mean help in the corner of the swamp or pure help at the swamp. Now, we already established that Fontaine is the French word for fountain. And when you think fountain, normally you would think of a water spring. But considering what her civilian name means, another possible reason for picking the word fountain is a source of desirable quality. So, considering her name, obviously she's going to have a strong relation to water, considering her cure theme and her name meaning. But also considering the assistant, the skillful part, and the fact that fountain also means a source, I feel like her personality is going to consist of her having a strong desire to help people. And I feel like she might run into a conflict where this may make her a pushover and people take advantage of some of the things she does. And if that is the case, I really hope that is a plot point later in the series. And considering this theory that the girls are going to work on a charity case, I feel like she's not going to be in charge of it, but she's going to organize it, and she's basically going to be vice president. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, like, the organizer is in charge of everything, but considering that Grace is the leader, I feel like she would be vice president of this entire project. Now it's off to the third and final cure, aka what the fuck happened to that color palette. The yellow one's name is Hinata Hiramitsu, and her cure name is Cure Sparkle, aka the most generic magical girl name that could ever be created in the history of magical girls. Okay, second most generic. But no, seriously, they couldn't think of anything better. Like, what kind of name is Cure Sparkle? That's like just what magical girls do. What is this? I just looked up synonyms for the name Sparkle, and it had a ton that could have been better than the actual name Sparkle. Don't believe me? Here are a few examples. Glisten, shimmer, shiny, gleam, glow, coruscate, flashy, brilliant, iridescent, opalescent, lustrous. But they went with Sparkle. Generic. Hinata's mascot is a tiger, and I can say without a doubt that this is the first tiger mascot we've ever gotten in Precure. Hinata's theme seems to be the stars, as she has a star pendant sitting on her bow knot. Hinata also seems to have the most interesting design of the three cures. She has cat ears that seem to be sitting in front of her ponytails, or at least holding them up, and she also has puffy earring. As we go lower into her design, it gets more confusing. She has fuzzy below the shoulder sleeves, but her shirt seems to be like a blouse and a vest at the same time, and for some reason it has black on it. And along with the sudden black, we also have a complete color swap. The bow on her back belt is green, her overskirt is blue, and the bottom is puffy and a light cream orange. And then you start to see the folds of stockings. The folds are yellow, and the stockings are a hazelnut red, and you think that it's going to show very long boots, right? But at the very bottom, you see that they're actual stockings and for yellow dress shoes with hazelnut red heels. What am I looking at right now? Alright, to be fair, her design isn't atrocious. That award goes to these two. But I feels like they were trying to do something. I think I know what they were trying to do, but like it fails in the long run because it doesn't work. It all clashes with each other, and I don't like it. So Hinata means sunny or warm. Hira means flat or palm, as in the palm of one's hand. And Mitsu means thick or honey, like thick like honey. So Hinata Hiramitsu means the thick sunny palm or the sunny honey palm. Mitsu also means the number 3, and this could just be a reference to the fact that she's the third member of the party. So, sparkle means to shine brightly with flashes of light, but another possible meaning is to be lively and witty. So, considering her multiple pictures, her name meanings, and the fact that her mascot is a tiger, I feel like she is going to start off being really shy and soft-spoken, but very warm at the exact same time. And then when she's more comfortable around people, she'll start to open up. She'll be a bit more lively. She'll be a bit more bubbly. She'll be talkative and whatnot. That's what I feel like they were trying to portray with her care uniform, and the fact that her name also means sparkle. That's what I feel like this character is going to be. Like, maybe she'll be one of the new girl characters that we constantly get in Precure. Like, she starts off being shy and then she warms up, and I feel like she'll be great with children if she ever interacts with them in the series. Now to look at the mascots. Now, we have looked at 3 already, but there is actually this 4th one, which seems to be the leader of the pack, which is a little cafe-colored dog who fittingly is named Latte. Now, I'm just gonna straight up assume that Latte is a girl and say that she might be the one providing the transformation devices, as she has a crown on her forehead that is similar to the crowns that the Cures are wearing. And this may just be a coincidence, but she's also wearing a bow that is similar to the one Morphodun wore from Mahosky. Considering that, and also the fact that she's separate from the rest of the fairies when it comes to a Cure theme, I feel as though she's going to be one of the more mature fairies of this series. especially considering the fact that her name is Latte, and it could just be because of her color palette. But a latte is a type of coffee, and coffee is a drink made for more mature people, generally adults. So back to the transformation mascots, we have Raibirin, who is a pink rabbit for Nodoka, Pegaton, who is a blue penguin for Chiyu, and Yatoran for Hinata. Now, I don't want to go too much into their personalities because it's really hard to tell, but I'm just going to assume their gender, and that Raibirin is a girl, and then the rest are boys. Now, I can't say for sure if this is a mistake or not because they're up to scale in the profile picture, but the mascots compared to Latte are tiny. If you can see Pegaton next to Fontaine right over there, he is basically the size of her hand. Meanwhile, Grace's hand, who is petting Latte, is the size of her head. So I feel like if this was intentional, that the new transformation mascots are babies and Latte is an adult and she's having trouble taking care of them. That, or they are like normal size, similar to Latte when they're untransformed, and when they do transform they shrink, and that's kind of what has happened with mascots in the past, but this is the first time where they like actually look tiny instead of just showing their head on the transformation device. I just think that's interesting. So I'm not seeing anything on their clothing that would represent what the transformation device is, and that counts for their cure uniforms as well. So 3 theories. 1, they don't wear it on their clothing and it's worn on like their school bags or their regular bags or whatever, similar to the communes and the packs. 2, it's those bags seen in this picture here. Or 3, the transformation device is the mascots themselves. This first occurred in Maho Sky Precure, with the girls calling out their incantation with the charm needed to help them transform was placed onto Mofurun, the mascot of the series. They held her hand and they transformed. The transformation may or may not be similar to this, as Latte has a bow similar to the one that Mofurun wears, but I feel like it is unlikely, as 1, it would be a trio transformation, and 2, we already have 3 mascots that are color-coded to each of the cures. I feel as though what would need to happen is that Latte will need to allow the ability for the individually assigned mascots to allow the girls to transform, and then the mascots will help the girls transform with their power being stored in those crowns up there. But again, this is all just a guess. Now, the MacGuffin of the series is very clearly going to be these bottles that are resting all over the poster. Now, some would say that these are perfume bottles, but I would actually like to call them medicine bottles, since this is called Healin Good Precure. Now, I can't tell if the girls need to collect them or fill them up, but it's very clear that this will grant them a new power, as can be seen on the wands where a charm would be placed. There is one already resting on the wand. Now, there are 6 bottles currently present, and they all have a different symbol on them, such as the green one having a clover and the red one having fire. Regardless on how this power is used, I feel as though the enemies of the series are definitely going to use this power against the cures. So every single time a bottle is used, its power is emphasized. So the green bottle would help the plants and make them fertile and whatnot, but if it is lost, then its power does not work anymore. So if we lose the green bottle, then all the plants will die. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say that the villains of the series are trying to kill off individual parts of the world, and the fairies came down to Earth to find the pre-cure so that they can heal those different parts of the world that they're trying to kill off. So I said I was going to come back to Nodoka and what I think is going to happen to her for this series. So, like we discussed earlier, her name means peace, and Grace means bringer of goodwill. So I've been thinking about why this name was given to her and why she would want to be a peacemaker or why she would want to work a charity case. I have a couple of theories as to this, but I could just be over-exaggerating, which is why I'm also going to put down simpler theories on the table. So the first one, and this one really isn't a reason to be a peacemaker, but I feel like her personality is simply just going to be very calm and warm-hearted. So the best way I can compare this is to Tsubame Hanasaki. She was more shy, but she wasn't really the most excited pink-cure there was. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go this route because, like, if you look at some of the pictures, she actually looks calmer than Hinata does in most of them. Second, and this one's a little bit darker, but it could be possible that she comes from an abusive background and she doesn't want anybody to feel the same way. If they do go this route, I don't think it will be explicit abuse, but it will be heavily implied and easy to tell that she was in a bad situation. Third is that she will be the first canon autistic character in Precure. And I felt this way because of the fact that this is one named Healin Good too. The literal premise of the show is that their partners are animals. Like, they made that seem like it was a brand new idea that's never existed, even though it's existed for a while. And they normally assign animals or pets to children who are going through trauma of some sort. Autism isn't really a trauma, but they normally assign animals to children to help reduce their stress levels because autistic people can be stressed out a lot. And I feel a little bit as though Latte is her dog and then she gets the ability to help them transform. But, like, once again, this is just a theory and I don't know for sure. And the last one, and this one's probably the most accurate, she just likes to help people. I just wanted to say real quick that the likeliness of us getting a fourth cure is very high. And she will probably be purple, and when or if we do get our fourth girl, I feel like she will be powered up by Latte herself. So I said I wanted to explain why I wasn't really a big fan of these designs, and I'm going to explain that now. One, I feel like it falls very flat from a lot of designs that we got in the past, like even the simpler ones. This one just feels very flat to me. Secondly, there's a lot of same face syndrome going on with this and the girls from Hugto. And I know that they're very clearly going to have the same character designer that was there for Hugto. But, like, this one is very apparent in Nonoka's face. If you just look at her face and then compare it to Hananono's, it literally looks like she just stole her face. Also, their outfits look like there was no effort put in at all, and they just copied off GoPri. If you look at the three right next to each other, it's uncanny, and it feels like the director is just going to write a fan fiction based off the GoPri and Hugto, like what if they came together and whatnot, because obviously they were the best seasons. But I really hope this is just a Toei thing, wanting them to look like two of their most popular seasons instead of a director's choice. Alright guys, I think that's all I needed to cover for today, so I wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating, Happy New Year, whatever. I'm probably not going to post another video until then. So if you like this video or you like what I do, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, share, I don't even care. Until next time, bye-bye.